Welcome back to part 2. We left off, if you remember, after a long series of boring logical connections with something rather interesting. These cause and effect logic trees end up shaped like a football. Not many entities at the top and not many entities at the bottom. We focused on a root cause that we have some control over, namely shippers' own policies, as opposed to demand is unpredictable. And as you can see, I also call it a core conflict, meaning there are damn good reasons why our industry adopted these policies and screwed their customers. Let's look at both sides. We have a tough dilemma. Our current reality logic tree suggests that we at least try to embrace the red action box. But how? If we do, profits will be lost and we'll cycle back to self-protective policies. It's this type of oscillation between the alternative actions in the blue and the red boxes that make the root causes permanent. Unless we can break the conflict, we must necessarily cause a host of problems for our customers, whose money we spend to operate our business and to pay ourselves. Customers who we should therefore feel kindly towards and treat really well. Of course, we want to protect our own company. We exist to succeed. And yet, clearly, if we put our customers first, we'll win more business. We need both yellow boxes. Anything that diminishes either one diminishes the extent to which we can achieve our goal. Assumptions behind each of these arrows explains why one box is necessary to cause the next. It's useful to articulate these assumptions, although I know it sounds improbable or maybe even impossible. Every time there is a common goal, conflicts that arise can be settled with no loss to either need, because conflicts stem always from bad assumptions. Let's see. Here are the assumptions. You can read them later. The middle ones are assumptions of why not, or sometimes just excuses. To embrace the red action box, we'd have to invalidate all the assumptions that support the action in the blue box. Let's try it. Remember our thought experiment? Do customers beg to see salespeople? No, it's quite the opposite. If we drive customers crazy, it's bad for business and expensive for us. Making customers buy more at a time does not increase their annual usage. It just reduces the number of delivery runs. If they order the same amount per year, there's no additional throughput. And unless we fire people, we can't save significant costs, just a gallon of gas here and there. Customers buy from distributors to enhance their availability. Holding no stock undermines the distributor's reason to even exist. And companies have profits. Orders can only contribute to profits, and it depends on how many orders you get in a particular time frame. There's nothing worse than annoying customers for a false economy. Same thing as before. Now, looking at the middle, why is there no jeopardy to getting more business in enacting policies that protect shippers? In case you can't read the fine print, it says customers can't get better deals from any competitor, so there's no real jeopardy here, which is largely true and has been for so long that no customer really thinks about it anymore. They just accept as status quo that their suppliers are greedy bastards. The weak assumption here is that it's okay to have customer annoying policies since everybody else does too. Likewise, selfish policies are no attraction to help get more customers. Wait a minute. Policies that enhance flow are inherently win-win for both parties. Interestingly, having so many supporting assumptions did not protect our supplier-centric policies. Maybe we needed so many justifications in order to convince ourselves against our own common sense. If we drop off self-protective policy Unlike our competitors, scary I know, then we are left with only customer-centric policies. Why will this work? Because shippers' pro-customer policies control costs like rush deliveries, inventory write-offs, and salespeople, reduce accounts receivable and inventory investments while relaxing customers' primary focus on price. We're relying on the increased flow to reduce costs. After all, efforts to manage costs always result not in lower costs, but in higher costs. About the time we realize that this is true, we start to feel really stupid, but don't. Nobody else is on it, and it'll be years before they can catch on, if they ever do. This is the foundation of a decisive competitive edge. If the root cause exits, what happens to this whole tangle? Obviously, the specific policies stem directly from the root cause. So the policies disappear. It may not seem like this is going to help too much, but let's check on the consequences of the policies. And their effects also disappear. Let's enjoy the benefits of our work on the logic tree, starting with can't always return purchases. That's right over here. And because of this and connector, all we need is one of the causes to disappear to result in the elimination of dead inventory accumulates. Customers don't need to worry about the late notice of obsolescence. They will take their inventory back. Look at the bottom right-hand side, right here. If the supplier will deliver immediately, the AND connector above, right here, means it no longer matters if usage is higher than normal. However, having a delay before ordering could still result in some of the inventories being too low. But notice that order more than a comfortable amount is a thing of the past. There is a delay before ordering stems from that. It's gone now, which finishes off some inventories too low. Then there's a domino effect all the way up to eliminating buying our products as a hassle. When the customer can return anything they like, there's no more inventories too high and all of its consequences. And the problems disappear, all except one. Now, let's see the future. This is called a future reality tree. You can see that lots of good things happen for the company. All the customers' negatives are now positives. But one problem still exists for the poor folks in purchasing, in that silo. In other words, shippers' policies are not its cause. Now I grayed out the ghost of Udi's past. Udi stands for undesirable effects, or just plain problems. No customer will sit through all this logic. But for us, knowing their situation instead of just thinking about our own leads us to a huge breakthrough. This is the end of the second video. The next one explains how to come up with a story that even jaded customers will pause their busy day to hear. It's my favorite part. Tune in.